I've been I've been thinking about positive self-talk and shifting my inner critic to an inner supporter and fan because I'm kicking ass. And I have these old voices that no matter what tell me I'm not, it's not enough. But if I sit down with those voices and we look at the evidence, they get real quiet. So I gotta remember when I hear the voice and I feel not to feed into it too much. Now, I have been having to practice, and it's helped me a lot through my life, of I sink into the thoughts of criticism and uncertainty, and I write about them, and often I share them. And I think that is a helpful process for me of taking it from the kind of whirling cloud that affects my general moodish and self identity-ish. And so I process it, I write it, put it down, I share it, and that helps me to kind of like get rid of it. But what I also need to do in addition to that is what I'm working on practicing is also writing the other side, which is that yes, these things are true, that there is doubt and uncertainty and potentially negative things. And that's a thought. That's a thought that arises and you process it just like you would during meditation. And here's another thought. You're kicking ass. Let's sink into that. Let's write that down. So this has come up in a few moments for me recently. One was I posted a picture. I took a picture of myself and I didn't like the way the colors looked, so I turned it black and white. And then I'm like, "Ooh, this looks cool in black and white." And then I wrote something out about my life is not black and white right now. And then this kind of poetic thought came to me of, should I keep running towards that light at the end of the tunnel? Or should I just be present and enjoy the darkness? And that's kind of an exaggerated definition of how I've been feeling lately, where I'm really trying to get to that place of healing. I want to get to the other side of this process, figure out who I am on the other side of this. And it's been a little bit, there's a danger to this motivation from a spiritual place of trying to get, because I'm back into desire. I'm back into wanting, which is not the way you, it's in a Buddhist sense, it's more desire, it's more suffering. And, that simply appreciating what is, appreciating the journey, that's the only way to ever really be content. Because even the finish line is transitory. So that idea of like, should I keep chasing this light? Like, yes, push hard through your new habits and getting rid of old habits and meditating and learning and growing and therapy and get to that light at the end of the tunnel. Or should I just go, you know what? It's kind of gray and unknown and certain but you know what? It's not so bad here in the dark. This tunnel, I don't know where it's going. I don't even know if I ever get out. What if I never get out? Let's dance in the dark a little bit. Sometimes I'm taking steps forward. Sometimes I'm taking steps back, side to side. Maybe let's just dance in the dark a little bit. So that was my thinking of it. But because the picture was so stark and my face was so like stern in the photo, every time I saw it, in my feed, because it was a profile photo, I was like, I feel like I'm telling the world I'm in a dark place. And that's not how I feel all the time. That's how I felt in the moment that I wrote that and the moment that I posted that. And so I took it down last night and I put a picture of me kind of like smirking, looking cool, saying, I'm kicking ass. Maybe I'm going to print that on my wall. I'm kicking ass. Because I am. And I think if we frame it, we always can find a way that we're kicking ass. And I think there is something really important about believing that about ourselves, that even if we stumble or we make a bad decision, that, you know what, overall, we're kicking ass. We're making it through. We're doing the best we can. And, I've done like 4 days now with really good eating habits. If you've been listening along, you've heard me say I've been struggling a little bit with my diet. And I, shoveled a sleeve of Oreos in my mouth, and actually I purged it. That was first time I've said that publicly, but that was really weighing on me as like, I'm a fuck up. I can't believe I did that. But you know what? Everyone else has forgiven me for it. 2 therapists have forgiven me for it. Multiple advisors have forgiven me for it. You know what? I've forgiven myself for it. I've been making so much, pushing so much, and changing so much, and my system needed to self-soothe in a way that, was short-lived, or short-sighted. And it's okay. That's okay. I'm still kicking ass. And so I need to really work on this self-compassion that doesn't require perfection, doesn't require being better than anyone has ever been and faster and get to the end of the tunnel quicker. Like, I need to be self-compassionate and just celebrate I'm kicking ass. On my journey, I'm kicking ass. And that is going to be my identity. I don't know, it could look differently. It might mean different things, but I'm kicking ass. So I've said it. I've said it out loud a few times lately when I've noticed myself being like, ugh, how long? Like, oh, are you talking to me? Because I'm kicking ass.